My name's Scott. I'm the founder of the Proper Blokes Club, and I got invited here by you guys today to get on board with this great initiative with a 30,000 conversations over 300 days, which I think is amazing. You know, anything that's going to drive conversations in mental health is something I'm always willing to jump on board with. The Proper Blokes Club was founded by myself in 2020, just to try and create a safe space for men to come down and talk, but also get some level of physical exercise as well. It started off on the back of my own traumas in the past, and I wanted to find a space that suited me, and I couldn't really find it. It was what I found. There was more stuff tailored towards more complex and severe mental health issues, but there was nothing I felt that I fitted in with, you know. So I just started it off my own back, and it turns out obviously that a lot of other guys were in the same boat and needed the support that I was offering, and now a lot of them have grown themselves and we're all over London now, you know. So it started off with just a very small group in Southwark, just myself and one other lad turning up to the first ever walk, to obviously fast forward 4 years where I think we're in about 10 London boroughs, we've got 19 walks a week. And we've got about 500 guys on board now, which is amazing, and growing weekly. So it's definitely something that's needed, not just for myself, but a lot of other guys as well, clearly. The conversations are very just free-flowing, very organic. I always say they're very similar to the conversations you would have with your normal group of friends, or down the pub, or down the football, whatever, but the added bonus that you're in a safe environment where if I ask you a question, how are you doing, you're going to answer it honestly, and it's definitely a safe environment for guys to answer that question. So there isn't no agenda, there's no worries of, oh, am I going to have to tell my deepest, darkest secrets or anything like that. The conversation is completely run by the two people that are walking at that time and at their own pace. All the walks are around an hour long, usually around 3 miles, so it sort of caters for majority of people, even at a nice, gentle, slow pace, and it doesn't take too much of your day up, in a sense, so you can try and fit nicely into your week, really. So they're usually around an hour and around 3 miles, some slightly longer, some slightly less, but usually around 3 miles. When I first started, I never had a vision of where it was going to go. It was only going to be a small group in my local area. But then as it grew, I sort of adapted that. So I wanted a group in every London borough, and we ain't actually in all of them at the moment. So I thought, what a great way to advertise all the green space and the great walking spots in London, to actually put my feet where my mouth is. And then I came up with Project 32 last year. But I didn't have the time to do it because some other stuff I was doing. But the idea of the project is to walk one marathon in every London borough, so 32 London boroughs. And if it can get a bit of publicity in each of the areas we go in and generate some conversations, great. If we get walks made from it, great. But as long as it gets conversations started, similar to what you guys are doing with the 30,000 conversations, if we can have at least one conversation each of those boroughs where we've actually affected someone's life in a positive way, you know, and that's what it's all about. We've had guys from 18 to 80 plus join our walks currently at the moment. We've got such a wide range of ages, races and religions and backgrounds and stuff. It's a real melting pot of just loads of different blokes coming together and learning a lot from each other, which is amazing. I've met some of my best friends from this group now that I would have never ever come across in our social circles. But to think of them not in my life now is quite sad, to be fair. So I've gained a lot out of it in that sense. And when I go down to the walks to check them out, see how they're going and stuff, and you can see these friendships blossoming that would have never have come together before. It's a real good feeling. But yeah, we have everyone come down, 18 plus, any man, and it's really great to see everyone coming together. The biggest thing I always say is that even if it's something that you feel doesn't affect you, especially social media is a big platform that we promote our stuff on. So if you've got 50 friends or 1,000 friends on Facebook, at least one of them would benefit from what we're doing. So even if it doesn't directly affect you, just give it a share, you know. So we always tell people, just give it a share, tag a mate in it, you know, and hopefully they they come down and make a positive change in their life, you know. So just sharing what we do, really, you know. Obviously we do some fundraising challenges and stuff like that to keep the organisation running and stuff. So we do a couple of those a year, where once again I put my feet where my mouth is and ruin them. But it's all for a fantastic cause, you know. Every little bit of pain in my feet is nothing compared to a guy that's suffering in silence out there, you know. So when I put that into perspective, my feet don't really matter, but spreading awareness about what we're doing and about what you guys are doing is more important than any of that stuff. Yeah. The best way to get in contact, I always say, is just pop the Proper Blokes Club in your search engine, and you'll find all our social media pages, our website and stuff like that. Once you find the appropriate walk for you that you want to come down to, all my contact details are on there. Just let me know that you're coming along, and I'll tell you the walk leader's name so they know who they're coming to see, and then just get yourself down. We've tried to make it as simple as possible for people. There's no complex forms to fill out. There's no big online search you need to do. It's a matter of you see a group of lads, I want to join, you go down. That's as simple as that, really. So, yeah, check it out online, and yeah, just get in contact and try and find out a little bit more. Hopefully this year we will have some merchandise available online. We've just revamped our website to make it a bit more modern and stuff, and we will have a spot on that site to buy stuff if you want, because we realise with social media our reach goes a lot further than where our walks are. So we've got guys all over the country, and a lot of women as well, you know, that are really big supporters of what we do, because they see us in our miserable state sometimes, and they know that we need it. So there will be an opportunity later on in the year to support us that way. But the biggest way, I'll just say, just keep sharing our content and what we do and stuff like that. It's obviously this at the moment it's quite a talking point, isn't it, about obviously men and toxic masculinity and stuff like that, which I think once you have a group of men, it's straight away associated with that. There's nothing wrong with being masculine, you know, and there's nothing wrong with having a male-only space. You know, there's been plenty of women-only spaces for many years, which I'm a big fan of. I feel that we need our time apart. Like my missus, she'd probably tell you if she was stuck around me all day, she would have the hump. So she's got her friends, I've got my friends, and then we meet in the middle in a sense, you know. So it's been really important. A lot of guys that have come down to us have been lonely. And one of the things I've realised as well is loneliness isn't an older person issue. We've had guys in their 20s come down and say that they've been struggling with loneliness if they've moved to a new area or they've been isolated, and they needed that bonding, you know. And then I see in week 1 a show of themselves coming down really sheepish, and then week 6 they're meeting and greeting new people coming down, big success. Do you know what I mean? So that's the thing I love to see. So men coming together in an environment like us, in a positive environment, which it is, I think's key to society going forward anyway. You know, there's lots of people out there that are spreading the wrong message. But yeah, I feel that we're doing the complete opposite to that, and we're creating good masculine friendships, you know, that are positive. Yeah, well, to be fair, the first thing I'll probably say to him is come down and have a talk with some real people. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's living in this fantasy world at the moment, and the problem is, and this is men and women, that when they see stuff on social media and they see the life that he's portraying, not fair play to him. If he wants to be rich and buy loads of cars, that's up to him, you know. But I think a lot of people are looking at that lifestyle and the way that he's conducting himself and thinking that's what I want, and I don't want to put the hard work into getting rich or famous. That's what your task is, you know. It's like, if I can't get that now, then I'm just going to become like not a very nice person and treat people this way and just do whatever you want to do, you know. So I would say to people initially, turn off. Do you know what I mean? Because this is unattainable lifestyle that people portray on social media ain't healthy for anybody. And I would say come down to stuff like what we're doing, and like what other great organisations are doing out there, meet real people, you know. Because whatever your ambition is, you know what I mean, if you want to be rich and famous, I have no problem with that, you know what I mean? Like, just go about it the right way. You could be rich and famous and still be a nice person. Do you know what I mean? And same for the person that's on the street and just lost his job. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, first of all, I'd say I would like to talk to him. Come down, Andrew, to one of our walks, and we can try and level him out a little bit. My childhood was a great childhood. I look back at it and it was a really joyful time. You know, all the way up into my sort of mid-20s, I was absolutely absolutely fine, you know. I was brought up just by my mum, my nan, really strong, independent women. Never had no male influences in my life. I'd like my aunt, she had 2 cousins. I've got a sister, I've got 3 daughters. Like, I'm the only man, you know. So until I met my current partner who's got 2 boys, which is nice, a nice change. But it wasn't until when I had my first daughter, because I had my two ex-partners I had my 3 girls with, and that just started 10 years worth of in and out of the court system for access to see them, which for any man that's been through that for even a short period of time is very traumatic. Do you know what I mean? At the time, it might not seem that way. It's when you come out of it and it's like you take a second to decompress and think about it all. It's a very traumatic experience, hearing stuff about yourself that's not true and stuff like that, and eventually you start believing it if you keep hearing it, you know, and then you beat yourself up about it. And then I done what a lot of guys do, and I abused substances to sort of cover it up. I was a big binge drinker. In hindsight, I was a big binge drinker since I was about 15. And then I started gambling as well, you know. So I ended up having a gambling addiction, an extreme binge drinking mentality to cover up how I was feeling going through this system, you know. And then once I sort of figured out that I could manage my children, that situation, I found a way to cope with that. I was left with one addiction with gambling that was definitely going to push me over the edge, and then the drinking stuff was just out of control, you know. But thankfully, I've got support for both of them. I'm 2.5 years off gambling now, which has been absolutely amazing, and booze, nearly 2 years I've been away from that. My life is completely different, you know, for the positive. I'm going on holidays now. I'm doing stuff with my kids. You know what I mean? I can actually save a bit of money. I can come out of debt a little bit now, maybe. You know what I mean? Like all these normal adult things, which is for some people it might be pretty boring. But like all I knew was getting drunk and gambling. You know, and this new life that I've got now is I wouldn't change it for anything. And the good thing about obviously our social media platform is that I get to share that story, and that helps me by sharing that and sort of engaging with people. And when I get messages from people saying, "Oh, I tried dry January, I'm 6 months in now, and it's not doing, my life's changed because you encouraged me to reach out or to stop doing something," you know. So that's when social media works good, you know, when you can inspire people to do really good stuff, and that makes me carry on, you know. So my stuff was all through my kids and going through the court systems, and any dad or anyone that's been through that system that watches this would understand how difficult that process is and how horrible it is. But yeah, so that is my sort of story. And then it went on to, obviously, I wanted to try and help dads initially, and then the first guy that turned up weren't the dad for the group. So it ended up being, all right, all men can come down, all men need a bit of support, you know, and yeah, the rest is history, as they say, you know. We don't have no professionals on the ground. It's all just lads coming together, helping each other out. We do have our walk leaders, who are people that have come through the process themselves, but still benefit from it, but want to help others now in their communities. But yeah, it's very much peer-to-peer led, and that's been a really good thing for us, because we've found people come down and they're a bit worried about seeking professional help at the beginning, because they have this assumption in there if they go and talk to a therapist or a doctor, they might get carted off or something like that, you know. But what happens is they come to us, we normalise counselling and these conversations, and we say, oh yeah, we've done that, it's actually fine, it's great, you know, and they go that way round, which is great, you know. But yeah, it's definitely a peer-to-peer support. So anyone that is interested in coming down, this wouldn't be the space for guys with more severe and complex mental health issues. Yeah. There's been probably a couple of situations where we've had that, but I'd say 99% of the time it's been very smooth going, because the guys are there for a particular reason, you know. But I think it's probably only natural when you have a group of guys coming together that are all different, you know, that you're going to eventually get some people that their characters clash a little bit. But it's usually, well, the ones that we've had are dealt with quite swiftly, in the sense that you say, look, you come with me, we'll have a chat over here, you go and chat over there. Sometimes it might be in a WhatsApp group and things like that as well. And we just have little conversation on the side of them, just remind them the reasons why they're here. and then it just fizzles out anyway. And majority of the time, it's over stupid stuff. You know what I mean? It might even be like the football result on the weekend. Do you know what I mean? Or the teams they support. So I mean, we've never had anything really bad happen where, obviously, things spiral out of control and everything. It's just petty stuff, really. But 99% of the time, it's all smooth. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few, but I can mention one because he wouldn't mind me mentioning that his name's Ed, and he started at our Greenwich walk, very much sort of like shy, didn't really know sort of what it's about, and it took him quite a while to settle in and stuff like that. And he was in a job he didn't like. I mean, his relationship wasn't going in the right direction and stuff like that. And it got to the point now that within a year, he became the walk leader of Greenwich for us. He's actually a director in the organisation now as well. I managed to drag him out on all my stuff, so his feet get done in as well. He had the confidence to challenge his work environment and change job in a lot more positive environment. His relationships now, it was over, it's finished, but everyone's in a better space, you know. And he's a classic case example of someone that comes along at the beginning, a bit unsure what it's like, coming with these issues that men feel, oh, it's just normal. It's normal to have relationship issues. It's normal to not have much money in the bank. It's normal to hate your job and all that. Well, we don't want to normalise that. We want people to come and challenge those things, you know what I mean? No matter what you believe in, if we live once, right? And let's make it a good turn, do you know what I mean? Why spend 50, 60 years of your life in an environment you hate? Do you know what I mean? Or a relationship that just you both know don't work. Do you know what I mean? So he's a really great example. We've had a few guys like that have come down, and those normal issues that we've normalised have felt like, no, we're settled now, that's it, it's just life. He's made all these positive changes and now he's flourishing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's one of many examples of the lads that we've built up that self-belief and confidence in guys again to really push in their lives and flourish, you know. If it was going through the same journey again, I would say strap in, get ready. It's gonna be interesting. But I'll definitely say, no matter how dark it gets, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's a bit of a cliche thing to say, but when I was in the midst of it, I couldn't see anything. And when I spoke to my counsellor before coming out of gambling and stuff like that, I said, I feel like I'm riding a wave. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't surf or nothing, but like, you know, you see guys that they surf and they get that perfect wave. And beforehand, I kept falling off the board, and eventually I caught that wave. And now it's not ended. I'm just still flying on it. Do you know what I mean? And like, if I had long hair, it'd be flying all over the place. but yeah, I'm just going on this wave, mate. And I'll just say, look, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it will end. You know, this shall pass. That's another one I keep hearing about all the time, which is very poignant. You know, like I think when you're in the midst of a dark time and problems, there's no way out. I'm the only person ever to go through this issue, and there's no way out of it. Loads of people are going through that same situation. Obviously, yours is unique to you, but loads of people have probably had a very similar problem, and there is a way out, you know. But try not go and be this lone ranger. I'm going to tuck myself away, and I'm going to go and live in the wilderness and lift trees and all that and become a new man. Just go and talk to people. Do you know what I mean? Talk to people, share the burden a little bit, you know. And there's lots of amazing organisations like yourselves out there and us that are willing to just have these conversations with you. I mean, like, we can't fix your problem, but what we can do is give you a space to talk about, feel more positive about yourself, and then you're going to more than likely come out of that space and say, right, I'm going to tackle my problem this way, instead of just sitting in my hole, you know. So yeah, there is light at the end of the tunnel. That was long-winded. Yeah, I think it's really important. Like, funny enough, before I started this group, I really didn't like talking to people. I had my very small group of friends, and I didn't care about anything else or anyone else. Like, not in a bad way. I just had my group, and then I just thought everyone gets on with their life, you know. But the thing I love about this group, especially because I'm involved in every new walk that starts. So I go to new areas, see new lads all the time, and there's nothing better than having conversations with people you've never met before. Because what they might feel their life's boring, but you listen to their story and you're thinking, wow, do you know what I mean? It's something new I've learned about someone today, or their story's amazing. They don't realise how strong they are and stuff like that, and you can really bounce off each other. You know what I mean? So I think having conversations with people you don't know and that are impartial are super important. You know, just to grow us socially. You know, like I said before I started this, I wouldn't have met all these amazing people and all these amazing stories and all these amazing inspirational people. You know, I'd have just been in my little box, like so many of us live our lives like. You know, and it's a shame thinking that. So it's massively important. Like, even if you're an introvert, right? Just try. You know what I mean? Even if it's online first. Do you know what I mean? It's there's a lot of amazing people out there that you've yet to meet. You know. Yeah. So I'm a bit cautious about this actually, because I am quite a positive person now, and like I think some people go, oh, here it goes again. Do you know? So I've got to try and balance it out a little bit. You know, like for me, how I sort of maintain my positive outlook on life is getting outdoors. You know, like I'm really super fortunate that I've created a living now out of an amazing organisation that I started. It was never the plan. That was obviously my path, what I'm on at the moment. So I'm able to get out every single day, getting some fresh air, go and meet new people, and try and spread that positivity with others. You know, and hopefully people leave my company feeling a little bit better about themselves. I think we've all been around those people that are really drained, you know, like drains and radiators. I heard a thing about that. You know, you want to be around those radiators and those type of people that you can really, really bounce off, you know, and I like to think I'm one of those. But yeah, whatever way works for you, just keep doing it. Don't stop. Once you find your way, keep doing it. Yeah, well, I might have to be a little bit biased for this one, because obviously I'm a Bermondsey lad, and Southwark is our home walk along the Thames path. I'm super lucky because when I started the group, that was where I was doing my individual walks, you know, like when everyone was in a really tough space, you know, and I was really fortunate enough that the Thames was only like 10-minute walk from my house. So I had all that amazing stretch to really sort of like decompress and stuff like that. So my favourite walk is probably, that Thames Path stretch of our Southwark walk, because that's deep ingrained in our DNA now, you know. But I'm sure there's lots of other walks I'm going to go on that might be it, but you never know. Words to describe it, probably safe space, encouraging, positive, and rewarding if you put the effort. You know, like we have guys that come down, they might do 1 or 2 walks, their life hasn't changed and they leave. And then you get guys that come down and commit 6 months to it and their life's changed massively and now they're helping others. Do you know what I mean? So I would say it's very rewarding if you put the effort in. Simple one for me would be, once you identify that you feel you've got an issue, just tackle it there and then. Because I feel like we start talking ourselves out of it from the moment that we admit it. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden this, I don't really need it or whatever. Just look for it, just search it, whatever the issue may be. There's so many amazing organisations out there that are free, ready to support you. So if you feel in a dark space or you've got a specific issue, just attack it straight away. Just get straight on it and don't wait to get that support. Yeah, whatever it is, you know, like, so for example, I had a gambling issue, so I searched sort of gambling organisations that deal with that, you know, and then the first one I saw was GamCare, which is the one I ended up using, and then I just filled out the self-referral, took 2 minutes, I got a call the next day and I got the support within a week, which was absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's how I would suggest doing it. But I understand that could be quite difficult for some to do when you're in a dark place. The last thing you want to do is go online, because that could take you down a proper rabbit hole. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got someone close to you that you feel you can talk to, reach out to them and ask them to maybe do that initial legwork to find whatever organisation it is for whatever issue you're tackling. Yes, I got here early this morning into Hammersmith around sort of like 6:30 this morning. and then I headed straight down to the Thames. It was very dark and the fog was very low, and then I walked along there. It was really nice actually. A lot of people out already using it, which is great to see. And there's some great parks as well. I think there's Ravensbourne Park. I think there's around here. It was really nice. I found a Japanese garden near the BBC Television Centre, which was like, if you live there, that's an amazing spot to go into. I'll pop round to all the football clubs whilst I'm here as well. So there's lots of spaces around here for people to go and enjoy and relax in. You know, I think it's a big myth that London isn't green, and that's what I'm trying to prove, obviously, within this challenge that I'm doing, is to try and find these green spots or these lovely walking spots within all the London boroughs, you know, so you can find a space if you need to decompress and get a bit of fresh air. There are spaces everywhere in London. I would suggest, I don't know when this is going out because it's meant to be happening all year, so follow us on our socials, and if anyone wants to tag along for a mile or two, or they're crazy enough to do all of it with me, they're more than welcome. I'll put them out usually a week or two beforehand anyway, but I'm unsure of the next one just yet. If you're a man that lives in London and you're interested in walking and want to meet new people and have a safe space to have some meaningful conversations, check out the Proper Blokes Club on whatever your search engine is, and you'll find all of our social channels on our website, and you can find a walk close to you to get involved in.